A miracle has no size, but when it's performed on an infant, a baby, that is something that weighs more than the weight of the entire earth. And such a miracle was performed on an 18-month-old baby in Chennai at MGM Hospital. We have 18-month-old Chrissy, who seems to be very curious about the mic, and their parents, Evangelina and Vladislav. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So this baby had undergone a heart transplant. She has already, like traveling from Bulgaria to Chennai, she underwent CPR twice. She was in ECMO for 48 hours, and after that, she was given the transplant, and now she is fine. Absolutely curious, absolutely beautiful. And we have Chrissy's mother, Evangelina, with us. Thank you so much for speaking. So I know the journey must have been extremely difficult. How did you manage?
We have a problem with the journey because it takes a long time to get a medical transfer for her because it is not possible to get her to here without medical transfer. She was very, very sick. She was on a ventilator and it was very difficult. It takes 12 hours to be here from Bulgaria to here. So her heart stopped twice or three times. That was a terrible journey. I don't know how to explain it, but it was terrible for her.
You have performed a successful heart surgery on an 18-month-old baby, heart transplant, and how do you categorize this particular surgery?
This is one of the most challenging situations we ever faced. This baby was flown in from Bulgaria with severe heart failure, and we were initially planning some kind of a heart pump. And on the way, when they were flying over Karachi airspace, the baby had a cardiac arrest. So they had to land and do CPR for almost 45 minutes, and the baby recovered. And then they flew to here, to Chennai. And fortunately, it could reach the hospital alive and then again had a cardiac arrest. So again, almost 1 hour of CPR. And then we put the child on ECMO. And miraculously, the child woke up after 48 hours. And we were trying to stabilize with the chest open when we got a donor call from Wadi Children's Hospital in Bombay that there's an 18-month-old baby's organs available. In general, pediatric organs of that size are not used very often in this country because you often don't have a recipient. And this was an incompatible blood group as well. Anyway, we forwarded the name of this baby since there was no other suitable recipient. And you can't use an infant's heart for an adult. It has to be only in the size category. So eventually that organ was allotted to us by NATO. And that organ was not great. It was actually with significant heart dysfunction as well. So we flew the organ from Bombay here and put the heart in. And the child needed to be on ECMO support for another 10 days with the chest open. But with the wrong blood group, ABO-incompatible. So the challenge was managing the immunological aspects of it. But everything worked out well miraculously. She's a normal, beautiful baby now.
See, there are two highlights for this surgery. One is this is ABO-incompatible transplant. Usually we transplant the same blood group. The donor and recipient's blood group will be same. But in this case, it was different blood group. Second thing is this child had a cardiac arrest. It was resuscitated with eCPR. E stands for ECMO. So the child was on ECMO, then did the transplant. And third thing is the heart was borderline. So we had to support the child on ECMO. And finally, the child recovered fully. We were initially contemplating Berlin heart. Berlin heart is basically a artificial pump. Instead of heart pumping the blood, Berlin heart can pump the blood and it can keep the child alive for 1 to 2 years. So that child can get a heart transplant done at a later date. Because in pediatric practice, it is not easy to get the heart immediately. There will be waiting period. But the child was very lucky, got the heart in time, and even though it was a borderline heart, we took that chance, and now child is doing well. So that means it was a great decision.
I was here. My husband come later, so I was here, and everybody do everything that is possible for her. They put in immediately on ECMO support, so it was like a miracle to get an organ for only I think 7 days. it was like a miracle for a pediatric transplantation. It is not a common thing. Yeah, yeah. So
You want to say something? You want to say something? So that's Chrissy,
No.
and Chrissy is 18 months old. Imagine she had a new lease of life. She had her heart stopped twice, and she had to undergo ECMO. 7 days she was in the hospital, and she was extremely lucky to get a heart of that age, 18 months. And the very, very important factor here is that the doctors were able to use that borderline heart. The doctor earlier said there are like certain issues with the heart, but still they went ahead, and a team of doctors have performed the miracle. And here you see the embodiment of miracle, an absolutely beautiful baby called Chrissy standing in front of us, being curious. Probably you want to say something? No, right. She's just staring at us, and this is a life that has been saved at Chennai at MGM Hospital.